Hello, my beautiful, compassionate Cancer souls, and welcome back to the Zodiac of Mind Gather. Close 4, we are about to embark on a journey into the very heart of a cosmic mystery, one that I feel is already whispering to the deepest parts of your being. Imagine with me for a moment a room. It is stark, cold, and bathed in a sterile white light that flickers unsteady like a faltering heartbeat. In this space, machines echo in a broken rhythm, a frenetic pulse, followed by a profound, unnerving silence. And from within that trembling quiet, a voice faint and fractured rises from the precipice of desperation. It is whispering your name. Have you ever felt that? A sudden shiver, a thought that appears from the ether, the unmistakable feeling of being called by someone far away. Someone you believed had long vanished from the tapestry of your life. I once dismissed these moments as mere echoes of memory until a vivid dream visited me in the deep of night. I saw the face of one who had dealt me a profound betrayal, someone whose memory I had locked away in the deepest vaults of my heart. Their face was a mask of sorrow, their eyes hollowed by regret, and they were calling my name from a hospital bed. Their voice, oh, their voice, clung to my soul with a chilling permanence, a sound I knew I would never forget. When I awoke, my heart was a drum beating against my ribs, a wild rhythm of shock and revelation. And in that moment, a profound truth washed over me. The universe has its own sacred language, its own way of communicating the truths that time cannot erase. It became clear that the seeds we plant in this life, whether of radiant light or of deep shadow, will always find their way back to us. And so, my dear Cancer, you need not lift a single finger in vengeance. You do not need to speak a single word of retribution, for there is an invisible divine justice, a force as gentle as the turning of the tides, yet as absolute as gravity itself, that is already weaving the final chapter for those who brought you pain. Your only sacred duty is to remain in your magnificent light, for it is a universal law that when you anchor yourself in light, the darkness has no choice but to consume itself. Right now, you may feel a deep stirring in your soul, a resonance that tells you this message was meant for you. Every time you chose grace over anger, silence over chaos, or walked away not from weakness but from strength, you created sacred space for the universe to act on your behalf. What once felt like vulnerability was truly your power. If this truth vibrates within you, let me know in the comments below by declaring I am ready to receive my blessings. And if you haven't yet, I invite you to press subscribe and join the Zodiac of Mind family. Together we rise stronger, guided by the light that unites us. Now let us turn our gaze back to that room. For what is unfolding, there is a cosmic lesson crafted just for you. Look closer at the face of the one who betrayed you, the one the universe has now placed in that solitary chamber of reckoning. Close your eyes, my dear Cancer, and truly envision it. See that hospital room so pristine and bright, yet so utterly devoid of warmth. It chills the very soul. The ceiling light continues its erratic dance, a pulse of light and shadow, mirroring a life that has lost its way. The monitors beside the bed are a symphony of despair, beeping and then falling flat, as if the very machines of life are refusing to tether themselves to a soul so heavy with the weight of its own choices. Suddenly, a mirror on the opposite wall fractures a spiderweb of cracks, appearing from nowhere, as if the hidden truth of a life can no longer be contained. A clock on the wall, which had been dutifully marking the passage of time, grinds to a halt. In this suspended moment where time and space hold their breath, a familiar face comes into focus. Yes, it is them. The one who shattered your trust, the one who took your open heart and treated it with carelessness, the one who built their momentary triumph upon the sacred ground of your vulnerability. Do you remember their laughter, their confidence, their unassailable belief in their own power? Look at them now. Where is that power? It has vanished. They are but a trembling form, helpless beneath a thin white sheet. And in the crescendo of their fear, the only sound that can escape their lips is your name. Can you feel the profound and beautiful paradox in this Cancer? When they were cloaked in their own strength, they scorned your depth and your sensitivity. When they were celebrating their perceived victory, they minimized the wounds they inflicted upon you. But now, as the shadows of their own creation lengthen and converge upon them, they tremble and call out your name. They are like a wanderer dying of thirst in a barren desert, pleading for the very stream of living water they once went to such great lengths to poison and divert. I have witnessed this divine principle with my own eyes. I had a dear friend, a magnificent Cancer soul, who was betrayed in a way that left a deep scar upon her life. The one who hurt her was cloaked in arrogance, utterly convinced that the pain they caused was a trivial matter, a footnote in their own story that would soon be forgotten. But years drifted by, and one day the news reached me. He was in a hospital, lost in a fog of delirium, his body failing him. And in that state, he did not call for his family, his wife, or his friends. The nurses told me he repeated only one name over and over again, a desperate mantra on his fading breath. It was the name of the Cancer he had so callously wounded. In that moment, the universe unveiled its truth to me. The price of betrayal is not a debt collected by human hands. It is a contract written in the stars, delivered and enforced by the cosmos itself. And so, my dear Cancer, the universe does not forget. It does not misplace a single detail. Every seed, whether sown with love or with malice, will inevitably sprout, and when it blooms, its fragrance or its poison will always return to the gardener who first planted it. Have you ever wondered why those who have wounded you so deeply often attempt to reappear in your life? Sometimes years later, it might be a tentative message, a late-night phone call, or a strange out-of-the-blue question from a mutual acquaintance. Let us be clear, beautiful soul. It is not because they have suddenly realized the depth of your worth or because they are seeking to make a true and heartfelt amends. They return because their own souls have begun to wither. They are starving for the light they once foolishly tried to extinguish, and they remember with a desperate clarity that that light once lived within you. You need not do a thing. You need not harbor hatred, for that would only dim your own magnificent radiance. You need not seek revenge, for that is a game played on a much lower frequency. In this very moment, you have become a sacred mirror. When they call your name, they are not truly seeing you. They are staring for the first time into the vast, terrifying emptiness within themselves. They are crying out because they have finally realized that their own inner darkness is absolute, and there is nowhere left for them to hide. Let your heart find peace in this understanding, Cancer. Those desperate calls are not apologies. They are involuntary confessions. They are the first hairline cracks appearing in the fortress of lies they so carefully constructed around themselves. They are undeniable proof that even at the very end, they cannot escape the truth of what they have done and the truth of who you are. You may have thought yourself weak for choosing silence, for offering forgiveness that was never asked for walking away without a final dramatic confrontation. But oh no, your silence was the sentence. Your dignified departure was the act that swung open the gates and invited the universe to write the final irrefutable chapter. Can you feel that shiver running down your spine? It is not the chill of fear, my dear friend. It is the deep cellular recognition of your own soul nodding in agreement, whispering back to you your pain was never in vain. Every wound you bravely endured became a mark of your resilience. Every tear you shed in the lonely darkness was a sacred witness to your strength. And now all of that energy, all of that silent endurance stands as a living, breathing truth that cannot be denied. The darkness they wielded could never overcome the eternal light that you carry within your very essence. Long ago, they may have reveled in the belief that hurting you was a sign of their power. But the truth, the beautiful and absolute cosmic truth, is that their cruel smile became their own binding verdict. You do not need to speak. You do not need to fight. Justice is not a destination they are heading toward. It is etched into their every breath, every heartbeat, every single moment of their existence from the day they chose to betray you. So remember, when someone calls your name from a place of desperation and despair, it is not because they miss the person you are. It is because their soul is finally collapsing under the immense weight of the shadows they chose to create. And while they fall you, my magnificent Cancer, continue to rise. Your silence is their judgment. Your survival is your crown. And yet this incredible story does not end here. For that desperate cry echoing out from that cold white room does more than just shake the foundations of their world. It reverberates against an invisible sacred boundary that surrounds you. It acts as a cosmic alarm, awakening the ancient and powerful souls who stand as guardians in your spiritual lineage. Perhaps you have never seen their faces, but make no mistake, they have always been there. They have been standing just behind you, a silent circle of unwavering protection, not to push you toward the low vibration of revenge, but to remind you in this pivotal moment that you have never ever been alone. Have you ever felt it, Cancer, a sudden, inexplicable breeze that sweeps through a closed room? A mirror that cracks for no apparent reason just as you are thinking of the past? A light that flickers and dims the very moment you touch an object that holds a painful memory? Do not be afraid. These are not omens of doom. They are sacred messages, whispers from across the veil. We are here. We have never left you. And in this very moment, as the cry of the betrayer echoes through the cosmos, these guardians, these ancient souls tied to you by bonds deeper than blood, are awakening. They are rising not to urge you toward vengeance, but to remind you that you carry within you a sacred power, a spiritual inheritance so potent that it forces the darkness to retreat upon itself. This is only the beginning, for from within the trembling shadows of your past, your light is now beginning to expand in ways you have never imagined. The true story, your journey of profound and total awakening, has only just begun. Because the truth is, those cries for help are not pleas for your forgiveness. They are merely the echoes of divine justice being served. And when that justice speaks, you will witness what happens when the ancient and powerful souls of your lineage rise to protect one of their own. Look closely at that moment of their desperation. That person is not asking for your forgiveness. They are begging for a rescue they have not earned. Their breath is broken, their eyes are wild with fear, but there is one fundamental truth they do not understand. Those cries for help are no longer meant for human ears. They rise into the ether, but they are immediately met by an invisible barrier, a shield of sacred energy erected by your guardian spirits, by the very hand of the divine that watches over you with infinite love. I used to believe that what we needed most from someone who betrayed us was a simple apology, that two small words, "I'm sorry," could somehow lighten the immense burden on our hearts. But in witnessing this cosmic drama unfold, I have come to understand a deeper, more profound truth. Not every cry for help is a genuine plea for forgiveness. Some cries are simply the sentence echoing back from the empty chambers of a soul that has been forced to finally face its own darkness. The universe has its own powerful ways of compelling a soul to confront the truth it has spent a lifetime denying. And the divine, who has seen every tear you've shed and every silent prayer you've uttered, will never allow those cries to penetrate your peace unless it is the precise moment for you to witness the beauty of divine justice in action. So no, my dear Cancer, you do not need to take revenge. The divine has already seen. The universe has already recorded every detail in its infallible cosmic ledger, and so that call will never reach you as a true apology. It can only become a tormented echo, rebounding back upon them, throwing their soul into a state of terror and forcing them to confront the truth they once so arrogantly dismissed. Do you see the magnificent power in this? Your silence has become the most resonant voice in the universe. Your decision to walk away was the final binding verdict. You allowed the darkness to drown in its own abyss without ever needing to sully your own hands. Let your heart find its rest upon this sacred truth. When someone calls your name from a place of utter despair, they are not truly calling for you. They are calling for the light they once had access to through you. They are calling for a salvation they now know with a chilling certainty they will never have again. The divine has taught us that what is sown will be reaped. The universe whispers that every action leaves an indelible echo, and you, magnificent Cancer soul, are the living, breathing proof of this eternal truth. I remember once standing outside a hospital room, a silent observer to this sacred play. I saw the eyes of a person who had betrayed someone they once claimed to love. That gaze was not restless because death was near. It was terrified because they knew deep in their soul that they could no longer outrun divine justice. And in that precise moment, I felt the very air in the corridor shift. The temperature dropped, and the fluorescent lights above me began to flicker erratically. I knew with every fiber of my being that I was not the only one present. The spiritual essence of ancestors, the invisible guardians, and the unwavering gaze of the divine were all focused upon that room. If you are hearing this message, Cancer, I want you to engrave this truth upon your heart. You are not alone. You carry a sacred, powerful lineage that stands as a fortress behind you. You have the divine seeing the absolute truth on your behalf. You have the universe recording every word and every act. And that beautiful soul is why you need not do anything at all. You only need to continue to hold your soul in the light. For when you are a beacon of light, the darkness cannot help but consume itself in your presence. Perhaps you once longed for an apology, for a validation of your pain. But the truth is, you no longer need it. Justice has already been written into the fabric of the cosmos, and the very moment they tremble, calling your name into a silent, unresponsive void, is the undeniable proof that justice has been served. So breathe deeply. Let go of the last remnants of that old story. Allow your heart to fully understand that everything that once made you collapse is now becoming the unshakable foundation for your glorious ascent. And this is only the beginning. For when that desperate call echoes and fades, it does not only close an old painful chapter, it awakens the invisible guardians around you. And right now, you are about to witness something truly miraculous. Your spiritual lineage, your powerful ancestors will rise to protect and empower you as never before. Have you ever sat alone in the quiet of your home and asked yourself, am I truly all alone in this? There are moments in life, moments of profound pain where we can feel utterly abandoned. But the truth, the deep and sacred truth, is that you have never walked a single step of this journey alone. In the very moment that the betrayer lay trembling, calling your name from that sickbed, something unseen and powerful was set in motion. The air shifted, the lights flickered, the temperature fell. These were not random occurrences, they were a sign. Your lineage, the powerful souls who walked this earth before you and whose strength runs in your very veins, were stepping forward, Close your eyes again, Cancer, and imagine around that hospital bed faint glowing figures begin to materialize. These are not gentle, ethereal spirits. They are powerful. You see women cloaked in moonlit silver, their eyes filled with a fierce protective love. You see men carrying the unwavering calm of deep ocean hues, a light that pierces through the densest darkness. They speak no words, for their very presence is a language of power, a force that makes the shadows recoil and retreat. I once thought I was alone in my struggles until one night in a dream, I was visited by faces I did not recognize yet. My heart knew them as my kin. When I awoke, a deep understanding settled within me. They were my ancestors, my spiritual lineage stepping forward to remind me, we have never abandoned you. Have you felt this, Cancer, that strange wind that brushes through your room while you weep, the mirror that cracks while you are lost in a memory of the past? The candle flame that dances and trembles though there is no breeze. These are not coincidences. They are love letters from your ancestors, messages from your lineage. We are here. We are guarding you. And here's the truth that many are afraid to believe: you are not weak. You are fiercely protected. The divine has surrounded you with an invisible inheritance, your bloodline, your lineage, a shield of ancient, powerful light. Each time the darkness has reached for you, the divine has dispatched your lineage to block its path. You think you have fallen alone, but in truth, thousands of souls have been standing tall behind you, lending you their strength. I once stood in a sick room where a loved one in their final moments said they saw a man standing at the foot of their bed. No one else in the room could see him, but she knew with absolute certainty that it was her father who had passed long ago. And when she saw him, her fear of death completely dissolved. A profound peace settled over her because she understood that our lineage never vanishes. They simply wait on the other side of the veil for the right moment to step forward and guide us. My dear Cancer, the divine never leaves you alone. It sends the universe as the record keeper. It sends your ancestors as your guardians. And it has placed within you a spiritual bloodstream filled with an indestructible, transformative energy. That is why you have survived pains that would have shattered others. That is why you are still standing today, after so many moments when you thought you would surely collapse. Do you see it now? It was never only your strength that carried you through. You endured because of the invisible love that has always been standing behind you. Every step you take, hundreds of unseen footsteps walk with you. Every tear you shed, hundreds of silent prayers hold you. Every night you felt utterly abandoned, the shield of light from your lineage kept the deepest darkness at bay. Never again believe that you are fragile. Others may leave you, but your lineage never will. When the betrayer trembles and calls your name in desperation, it is not the darkness that is calling to you. It is the darkness that is trembling before the awesome power of your lineage. And the truth is that darkness is not and never will be strong enough to pierce through the shield of the thousands of souls who have chosen to protect you. Remember this: if you have been seeing strange signs lately, cold winds, flickering lights, fleeting shadows in the corner of your eye, do not be afraid. These are not omens of doom. They are signals from your lineage, a cosmic declaration. We have risen. We are here to guard you. At this very moment, you are surrounded by these unseen guardians. They do not come to encourage you to seek revenge. They come so that you will remember that you carry within you a sacred inheritance. You are the living embodiment of thousands of souls who have lived, who have loved, who have endured, and who have overcome. You are the living proof that the light of a powerful soul never truly dies. And when you recognize this, you will begin to feel a profound shift within your own being. Your energy will begin to expand. The light within you will radiate outward with a newfound intensity. You will no longer live only for yourself. You will live as a representative for all the souls who poured their love and their strength into your blood. Take a deep cleansing breath, my dear Cancer. Close your eyes and truly feel this: you have never been alone. You are standing inside a sacred circle of protection, a circle raised by the divine, by the universe, and by your powerful lineage. And from this very moment, that light will carry you forward into a new season of your life, the season of your sacred rebirth. As the energy of your lineage rises to surround you, you will begin to sense things shifting, not in a loud or chaotic way, but with a quiet, unshakable certainty. You will find ancient dreams returning to you in the night. You may see visions of a library of light, of ancient books of wisdom you thought were lost forever. You may dream of a key being placed in your hand, the key to unlock a door you never believed you were strong enough to walk through. I once believed that the great losses in my life were the end of my story. When a door closed, I would cry, I would despair, I believed I had nothing left. But slowly, piece by piece, the universe taught me that every loss was merely a clearing. The cosmos lovingly removes what no longer serves your soul's highest evolution, so that there is sacred empty space for a new and more brilliant light to enter. Remember this, Cancer. Every single tear you cried has been a seed. Not one of them was shed in vain. They were seeds of resilience, of wisdom, of compassion. And today, under the divine protection of your lineage, those seeds are finally breaking open, blooming into a sacred garden of light that surrounds you. Have you ever noticed the small signs: a bird that lands on your windowsill and watches you for a long time without flying away? A cat that sits perfectly still, its gaze fixed only upon you? These seemingly small occurrences are in truth powerful signs. The natural world, the world of pure energy, often sees the magnificent light within you long before your human eyes can recognize it in yourself. You do not need anyone's validation, Cancer. You do not need their praise or their approval. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. The light that you now carry within you is so vast and so powerful that even the darkness must retreat in its presence. I witnessed this in the life of my dear Cancer friend. After her betrayal, she did not collapse. Instead, she grew quiet. She went inward. She chose to pray. She chose to heal. She chose light. And years later, when I saw her again, I looked into her eyes, and I saw a light so pure and so powerful that liars could not meet her gaze. A light that made the shadows of arrogance and deceit bow their heads in submission. That, my beautiful friend, is who you are becoming. You are no longer the victim of someone else's story. You have become the one holding the key to your own. You have become the living proof that survival is not merely about continuing to breathe. It is about rising, blazing, and alchemizing your pain into an invisible, magnificent crown. Let your heart believe this: what was once broken is now being rebuilt in pure light. What was once shattered is being raised again in radiance. What was once taken from you is now returning, but in a stronger, purer, and infinitely more beautiful form. Do you hear that sound? That deep, resonant hum like a sacred bell echoing in your very bones? That is your soul expanding. That is the light of your being spilling beyond the confines of your physical body. And every step you take from this moment forward will not be yours alone. It will belong to your lineage, to the thousands of souls whose love has carried you here to stand strong today. You are being reborn not to become someone else, but to finally become the strongest, brightest, truest version of yourself, the version that is utterly untouched by darkness. You have walked through the long night, Cancer. You have stood under the cold gaze of betrayal. You have heard the desperate cry from the abyss. You have felt the sacred circle of protection form around you. And now you rise. You are no longer the wounded one. You are the light of healing itself. In this rebirth, your steps begin anew. They are no longer the timid footsteps of a soul carrying heavy wounds, but powerful steps that echo like the ringing of sacred bells, each rhythm causing the world around you to pause and take notice. I once looked into the eyes of a Cancer who had passed through the deepest shadows, and those eyes no longer sought approval from anyone. They were eyes that made liars bow their heads, that silenced those who once laughed at their pain, not because those eyes were frightening, but because the truth shone from within them so clearly, so brightly, that no one could possibly deny it. Do you know what the greatest light is, Cancer? It does not come from the fleeting satisfaction of revenge. It comes from the way you still stand, the way you still choose to love, the way you still choose light, even after the world has hurled its sharpest shards of broken glass at you. And when you do that, the darkness simply collapses on its own. I remember an ancient saying, "The crown is invisible, but the world can feel its weight." And today, my dear Cancer, the universe has placed that crown upon your head, not the crown of vengeance, but the crown of strength, of patience, of sacred, undeniable survival. Once you may have felt abandoned in the shadows, but now you are the light that dissolves the darkness for others. Once you wept in silence, but now every one of those old tears has been transmuted into a pearl, glittering along the beautiful path you now walk. Once you may have trembled begging for a hand to hold, but now your very hand is the one that others will come to seeking comfort and strength. Here is the ultimate truth: what once broke you has now crowned you. The very things that brought you to your knees have become the invisible throne upon which you now sit. Not everyone is chosen for such a profound path of transformation, but you, Cancer, were chosen. And that very choosing transforms you into a light that no one can deny. Let your heart fully embrace this truth: you are not merely a survivor. You have become a living testament to divine justice. You are the song your ancestors are now singing through you. You are the doorway the divine is opening to let more light enter this world. And from this moment forward, no darkness can deny that truth. Look back at your journey, from the vision of the cold hospital room, from the echo of that desperate cry, from the unbearable pain you endured. All of it has led you here to this very place, where you now stand radiant and undeniable. You do not need to shout, for your light is so vast that even your silence makes the world listen. You do not need to prove anything, for your very presence is the proof. And anyone who once caused you pain, when they look at you now, will only see themselves exposed in the brilliance of your light. You are the light that cannot be denied. And from this moment, every step you take will leave a trail of light upon this earth. Every glance you give will cause the shadows to shrink. Every breath you draw is proof that light always, always prevails. If you are still listening now, it means this is no longer a coincidence. This is a divine appointment. This is the clearest possible signal from the universe and from the divine that your soul is ready for the next stage of your magnificent journey. You have walked with me through the cold room, through the face of betrayal, through the cry of despair, through the circle of your ancestors' protection, and through your own radiant rebirth. Not to remind you of your pain, but to prove you that you have always been loved, always been protected, even in your darkest hour. I invite you now, in this sacred moment, to place your hand over your heart. Feel its steady, powerful rhythm. That is not just the beat of your own life. It is the prayers of thousands, the voices of your ancestors, and the infinite love of the divine flowing through your veins. You were never alone, and you will never have to walk alone again. Let this moment be a sacred ritual. If this truth resonates in the depths of your soul, seal it with a like, as a powerful sign to the universe that you declare, "I accept my light. I accept my destiny." Share this video as a sacred offering of light to other souls who may also need to be reminded that they were never abandoned. and subscribe not as a simple habit, but as a sacred vow to yourself. I choose to walk in the light with my soul family beside me. Once, my dear Cancer, you may have believed that the darkness could swallow you whole. But today you see with perfect clarity the darkness only ever existed to reveal the true magnificence of the radiance you carry within. You have survived. You have been reborn, and you have become the light that cannot be denied. From this moment on, live as you truly are, a living testament of love, a lantern in the long night, a soul the universe itself has chosen to guard and to honor. And please remember, this is not the end. The next time we meet, we will open a new chapter where I will reveal the sacred signs that appear when the universe is preparing to open the final gate for you, a gate of opportunity and blessing that will make you tremble, but will also make you understand that everything you endured was merely the prelude to the greatness you are about to step into. If you are still here, it means your soul is ready. And I want to leave you with one final blessing. May your nights be softer, may your mornings be brighter, and may love find you in every corner of your beautiful journey. You are worthy of love, you are worthy of light, and you are worthy of all the happiness the universe has to offer.